Welcome to Totally Talent Podcast by HR.com, your go-to source for all things talent. Whether you're looking for expert insights on high-volume hiring, the latest trends in recruitment technology, or strategies for building a winning team, we've got you covered. Join us for each episode as we dive deep into the challenges and opportunities shaping the talent landscape today. Let's get started.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Totally Talent here on HR.com. And I am joined today by Jason Gorham, who is in a hotel somewhere, joining us via his phone, which is pretty cool. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hey, Mike. How are you? Great to see you, brother.
So, Jason, if you just want to give people a little bit about your background, I'll give them the headline that you created programmatic advertising or job advertising.
Yeah, I did. I did, Mike. What's interesting, Mike, is we know the same people for, 20 some years. And I'm kind of doing the reunion tour of everybody that we know. And I had a friend of mine that I've known for 20 some years. He owns a job board, and he said, "What do you mean you created that?" And I said, "Yeah, I created it in 2003. Yeah. So what I tell people, like I just told the nice gentleman here that owns the hotel, I said, "Yeah, I created Indeed." And then the technical people go,
And he says, "No, you didn't."
yeah. And they go, "Paul Forrester created Indeed." And I said, "Well, I kind of created it." So anywho, in 2003, I told Jeff Taylor this story when I saw him last year. In 2003, I worked in staffing, and I posted a job for a financial analyst, and I got 100 cashiers. And I literally quit my job. I was like, there's got to be a better mousetrap. And I started playing around. A friend of mine showed me pay-per-click, like Google pay-per-click. And I started playing around with it, and I loved it. I was like, wow, I can serve the right ad to the right person at the right time. And I put a provisional patent on it. And Mike, by the way, patents are no fun. I do not, it takes you
So tell me about the patent. 6 years, you said?
6 years to get a rejection, Mike. The patent office rejects patents, like insurance companies, Mike. So you get your rejection, and they rejected me for a process patent, which means if you can think it in your head, I can think it in my head. And so my patent attorney at the time cost me a ton of money. I didn't have the money. And he said, let's get the patent examiner on the phone. So the other unique thing about patents is patent examiners could get a beverage cooler patent and then could get your patent. So they don't specialize, Mike.
It's got to be a tough job. Yeah.
Right? So remind you, all the money, 6 years, right? To this point, that I had a phone call in my lawyer's office with the patent examiner, and my lawyer said, no, this connects databases and networks and processors and computers and advertising. And he said, wait, processors? We said, yeah, computer processors. He said, put that word in there. And I kid you not, Mike, it came down to one word and the patent got approved. So
That's awesome.
I got the patent in 2007. I exited the patent in 2013.
That's pretty cool. I know that the patent process is long, and I know that so I don't know if you know, there's an online screening company, Fama. They just got a patent for their social media screening for employees, and if they didn't get that patent, because everybody's screening everything now, that it would just be a huge blow to the company. But they got it, and so that's great. And so but
yeah,
tell me,
Indeed, and LinkedIn both license my patent.
That's great. And and here we are now, almost 20 years later, and it feels like the whole job board thing is almost fallen off or fundamentally broken. I just wrote about, if you're taking the value of an actual person raising their hand saying, I'm applying to this job, here's my resume, and now everybody can do that. then there's no value in that person putting their hand up and saying that they want a job, because everybody's going to want a job. It's like, why don't you just go out in the middle of Boston Common and say, I have
Route
like
one.
$100. Yeah. Just
Route
say,
one.
yeah, Route 1. Yeah, say, hey, I got $100. Who wants $100? So it's fundamentally broken now. But you and I were talking about this, and there's just so much data out there. And I was talking to you about all the data that is collected. And I was like, I got to get you on the podcast, because I think people need to realize how much data is sitting out there that tells that. I mean, they are, without with your consent or without your consent, they know everything about you. So tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about this Amazon DSP thing that we
Yeah.
were talking
Yeah.
about.
I'll tell you a quick story. So I saw this on Instagram. Like, I'm in the data DSP world, data world, connected TV, like following you around the web, and I didn't even know this. So a couple of years ago, Walmart bought the TV manufacturer. What is it? Visible? Like, it's
Vizio,
Vizio.
because
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
had one of those, so I'm
Yeah.
probably already in that database.
Yeah, I've had one. I think I've gone through 5. I don't know. Like, and I have 2 right now. And so I saw on Instagram the story of Vizio. So Vizio was an independent manufacturer of TVs, and then Walmart bought them. I don't know, you can Google it. And I was like, that's weird, because Walmart was the exclusive distributor of them, I believe.
I
And
thought that
you'll
they
have
were an off, like their own brand. I thought it was already their own brand.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think Walmart had the exclusivity of them, and so I was
Because
like,
back then I could only afford like brand names that you've never heard of.
yeah, like Frank's TV, right? You're like, Frank makes great TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me, I've been there, man. I think I'm still there funding this company. And
Well, so
so,
we were talking because I'm finally going to get a new TV. The Vizio one I had finally broke, and then another one broke. But I'm finally going to get a new TV, and I'm just amazed that the prices came down as much as they are. And I thought it was about the chips, but it's about something else, right? I'll give you a little lead in there.
yep. So it's about subscription model and data. So when you buy your Vizio TV, make sure you go to the settings and look for share your viewing data, and then you just toggle it off. So it's off on both of mine. And
Good.
so now when you buy that Vizio TV for $300, guess what they're doing? They're not only capturing your data, but they make you sign up for a Walmart account.
Yeah. And so it's just an extra step. So like, yeah, signing up for the Walmart account is a little fishy, but regardless, they're getting your data, and they can sell it as many ways as they want. I mean, I wonder if there's a bunch of ghost jobs that are just solely created to collect data on people.
Well, if it is, it's done by AI, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's TVs, it's smartwatches, it's your phone, it's your internet, everything.
Yep. It is. So we do programmatic now. So in the recruitment world, because my co-founder hates it when they say programmatic. When we talk to job boards, they say we're doing programmatic, and my co-founder, who comes from brand and marketing, says that's not programmatic. So in our world, the recruitment world, I created programmatic job advertising, which is essentially job distribution, right? So somebody asked me to explain this, and I was like, oh, nobody's ever asked me that before. So what happens in the recruiting world is you take an XML feed from an ATS, right? And then that feed will typically go to a distributor. I call them distributors. So that's Appcast, Jovio. These are the biggest in the US, Appcast, Jovio, and Recruitix. And then they will redistribute that. And in that distribution, they will put a line item that says this is a CPC, cost per click. this is a CPA, a cost per application, or this is an apply start. And all those have money attached to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm a job board, I ingest the XML feed, right? And then I then put that on my site. And so hypothetically, I get a feed from one of the distributors and it says, I will pay you 50 cents cost per click for you to advertise this on your site. And then I turn around and I sell that for 55 cents. And so the difference between 50 and 55 cents is that's called an arbitrage model, right?
Got it.
And so I'm a job board, I make 5 cents per click, and then the distributor pays me. Well, that worked since 2003, Mike, until there's two letters that came along and messed everything up, Mike, and that's called AI.
Well, to think about it, so like, the job board exists to get your job in front of candidates, and you're paying. It used to be pay per clicks, or it probably started out pay by clicks, and then people were like, "I'm getting way too many
Sponsored.
clicks on this."
Yeah, sponsored.
Yeah. So it's too many clicks. I'm paying too much money for this. Why don't I only get paid for the people who finish the application? Great. Well, guess what? It's super easy to finish an application now. And so I'm wondering, like, what are all these companies
There's
doing?
an AI tool that is like Easy Apply, right? So there's Easy Apply and there's a new AI tool that's like that. So yeah.
But are these job boards still billing on cost per application? Because if I was a customer, I'd be like, you can't bill on that anymore.
They are, and they're also still in the arbitrage world, right?
Yeah.
And so, well, guess what? Like we killed the arbitrage last year because I was spending more time on fraud audits than I was on value or quality, right? Like quality.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
quality's tanked.
Yeah. So AI crawls every single, right? And then the the employer's got over 1,000 apps. None of them are, not none. Sorry, I shouldn't generalize. Minimal quality, high bot, high fraud. And I personally think the fraud will get worse. Cloudflare, there's a lot of solutions coming out, but I personally think it'll get worse.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
Well, we do true programmatic and getting back to, which means that you see a banner and that banner follows you around the interweb, and that's called remarketing or retargeting. You watch connected TV. That is Amazon Prime, and they push you an ad and they say buy this, and you click on it, and that's considered connected TV with e-commerce. You go on a podcast, right? And you hear that ad, that's another omni-channel. And
It's gonna follow you around until you die. Or buy.
Yeah, if you're in front of a screen, if you're listening, digital out of home, right? Like a digital, that's called DOOH. That's the billboard you see when you're driving or if you're at a bus stop, right? Where those digital billboards are scrolling. That's DOOH. Wherever you are, we will find you, Mike. So
That's
people,
creepy. Yeah.
when I meet people in the grocery store and I tell them, oh, I built Indeed, and they say, oh, I'm looking for a job, and I'll say to them, well, I will find you. I'll find you.
So all these people are wandering around being like, I met the founder of Indeed today.
Yeah. I don't know what they tell people, but I'm like, yeah.
So are you worried about like job boards in general?
I don't worry about them because that's not my business.
Okay. Because I see all these job boards and I'm just like, why would you pay the extra money at this point for someone like there's just too much on LinkedIn and there's too much on Indeed. And don't even get me started about LinkedIn, like every job being sponsored. Like Now I'm seeing, I'm not seeing the
The
jobs that are
back,
right for me. It's just the jobs that are advertised
yeah,
for
the
me.
back end of that is really concerning. I never understood this. I've run TA operation. The other reason why I built my patent was I wasn't a tech person. I built it from problem solution. I sold my patent. I went back in house, right? So I'm a utility player. I've been there and I've done that. I've been a Workday SME. I've implemented Phenon, executive recruiting, PeopleSoft, like you name it, right? And so I've sat in the seat. It's not that I haven't sat in the seat. One of my biggest challenges when I sat in the seat was black boxing the data. And so when you black box data, right? So there's companies spending millions of dollars and they can't see the publisher, they can't see the URL, right? They can't see anything. They don't know where their ads being distributed, where their jobs are being distributed, or not their ads. With us, we don't black box our data. I was on a call with a client this morning. We show them every single URL where that ad went to. We show them best performing ads. We show them distribution methods, where their ads were being shown. For this particular client, we just pivoted a campaign and their highest click-through rate, Mike, is on USA Today. And they're getting conversions, right?
I'm surprised people are still visiting USA Today.
I know, like really, like Mike, chess.com, right? They got high click-throughs through chess.com. So everything with us is data driven, but it's also driven by the customer. Like, like the customer is so happy this morning. And so they're running on Amazon, right? So the Amazon DSP made $4 billion. $4 billion, Mike. And so they're running on Amazon. They also run on this huge DSP called the Trade Desk. Beeswax is a smaller one. And they're getting great results, even to the extent, Mike, that I said to them, I was just spitballing because but my co-founder knows it better, but I saw in the platform, we have Whole Foods data, Mike.
Because of Amazon.
So
Yep.
we have Whole Foods data and we are, and I said, why don't we scale up with the Whole Foods data, the audience data, and then we will move into connected TV. It's
Hey, if my
crazy,
TV
Mike.
told me how to get a job, that would be great. But actually, no, it'd just be kind of weird.
Mike, and I shared this with the head of TA last week, and I'll give you this other example, and then feel free to chime in. I said to the head of TA, I said we can reach pre-passive candidates, and he said, I've never heard of a pre-passive candidate, and I said exactly. I said this example blows my mind. So hypothetically, a nurse goes into Amazon, right? They are getting ready to get I don't know much about healthcare, but they're getting their license to become an RN. They are searching a book because they want to purchase that book. We serve them a job ad to join us, to join our healthcare or staffing company. It doesn't matter to us. We serve them a job ad. They click on it. It's top of the funnel, which is a pre-passive candidate that hasn't even entered the workforce.
She didn't even know she needed that job until you put it out in front of her.
Right? Isn't that crazy? Like I thought passive was cool back in the day. Pre-passive. I was like, wow.
So I wrote an article that's coming out today, and I was trying to look at the future of hiring, and I really think it's going to be your agent and a company's agent, hash everything out in the middle, bring me in for the final, like, do you actually want to work here? And as I was writing it, I was like, just going through, like, what if I'm Googling a certain city, and I'm moving out of Boston. I'm going to go live in the South because my kids are going to school in the South. I'm going to go move to Florida. So let's say I Google Florida for 6 months. Some company could be like, oh, he's moving and he's
we
going to
have
need a
that
job.
intent data.
So,
We have that intent data. We have financial purchasing data. We have so many data brokers, Mike. It's crazy. Going back to the XML feed, a very smart guy that I've known for years, but I just met the other day. Um, the XML feed, by the way, gets crawled roughly every 4 to 6 hours. And that technology breaks a lot. I've been there. I've seen it. And so keep that in mind, right? That it gets crawled and then it gets distributed. Well, in the DSP, you can do real-time bidding. So an analyst pointed out to me the other day, they said to me, hey, your real-time bidding is almost like a real-time marketplace of talent. And I was like, wow, I never thought of it that way. Right? So if you got to pivot, you're building AI and it's working, it's not working, you need AI talent, right? So like we can and it goes back to 2003, Mike, serve the right ad to the right candidate at the right time.
Yeah, and now it's going to be just within their daily. It's not going to be jarring. It's just in their daily thing. Because and hopefully this will make it so that there's not an overload of advertising, that it's more targeted and expensive. But I just like there's so many data points out there right now, and AI is really able to bring those together. Like the amount, like, but there's another side of this coin. Like, so like, what if someone has some glitch in either their profile or whatever that all of a sudden labels them a bad fit, and then that follows them around for the rest of their life?
Well, we don't do matching.
Okay,
I
good.
think that's more matching. We
Okay, good.
do we do audience targeting and data layering, right? So I don't want to get too in the weeds, but um, so we would never disqualify somebody, right? Because brands have been doing this for buying power for years, So somebody asked my co-founder, they said, so what, what industry does this work for? And he'll say any. And then like, what geo, right? So where can you serve ads? And we're like, around the world. And we'll say it doesn't matter to us, And where did the Earth get mobile, desktop, iPad? Doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, because you're geo fencing an area, right? So you're, I had to do one Snapchat ad in my career. It was around this event that my company was at, Workhuman at the time, and so it was at Sherm, and basically I boxed the entire area around, so if someone was around and happened to get on Snapchat, they would see our ad, and it's kind of like that, but at a bigger scale. So whether you're advertising towards Google or towards Safari or any of those tools, it will be able to show you these ads, no matter where you are.
Well, the other thing too is we don't take one data point, right? We call it data layering. So it could be an age, it could be financial, right? It could be purchasing, it could be intent, it could be, right? Like we were talking to somebody the other day and they said, hey, we want to target people that are coming out of the military and they're in Kuwait. And I said, okay. And they were like, what do you mean? Okay. I said, yeah, we know, we got it. We know where they are. We know what they're doing. We know, like, yeah, we said, of course, we'll data layer. We have the ads. We know what's going to work. Like, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
just think about how many political stuff gets thrown to you. Like that's where a lot of the advertising is using this stuff. Like, so you can't escape it.
It's called hyper personalization, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So besides that data layer, right, we have to build the media plan. We have to understand like what you're doing, where you're going, what the goal is. So we use we build the media plan and then there's the ad, right? So the tech stack is really sophisticated, but it works. That's why, you know. So then we do that, and then there's roughly 4 to 5 steps, right, to go live, which are highly sophisticated. Um, but then when it works, right? It works at a lower. It's lower cost, higher quality, and better hire,
Yep. Yeah,
right?
it'll be interesting to see what happens to these the bigger job boards out there, because I honestly don't think the value is there anymore.
I I could say a lot of things, but like I really try to stay in our lane because like I spend more time, right? So both me and my co-founder are focused on, it's our name that goes on that campaign, right? The customer, we have a huge team. It's not the team, it's my name and it's my co-founder's name, and we own it, right? Like we had a challenge with a customer the other day and we fixed it, right? And they were so happy. I just talked to them this morning, Mike, and they were so happy. They were like, "Thank you." And I said, "No, thank you. Thank you for staying with us. Like we own it, you know?" And so I don't know what's going to happen to job boards, you know? I don't I think personally I think a niche job board has always worked, right? At one
Hmm.
point when I owned my company and I was doing, my first company, there was over 100,000 job boards in the US, Um, niche job boards, right? Dental, healthcare, optometrists, right? Like anything, I'm off the top of mechanical engineers, right? Cleared people.
Yep.
Those, I think, high touch, high conversion. Um, to a point like general, I'm not quite sure, honestly. I think it's a really challenging time for them. I know that much.
It'll be interesting to see how things kind of shake forward because I really think we're at this moment where the current setup is completely broken. It's not going to work, and so we see
It's
these
definitely
fixes.
broken for the employer, right?
Yeah, yeah, everybody's frustrated with it.
I couldn't imagine being a recruiter right now, honestly, and open up a rec and workday and see 1,000 people,
And
right?
and yeah, and
And,
then you
and
run the
and think about
algorithm.
high volume, like,
Yeah.
and you got 50 recs, right? So I would say to the hiring manager, where do you want me to start? So at one point, it reminds me, I worked for IBM and I had 80 recs, and I said, and I asked my boss at the time, I said, where do you want me to start?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that 80 is never going to go down.
No, not if
And
you're
so
looking for AI
it's
people.
well, it's tough for recruiters. So my wife, she works for a large hospital system. She has about 50 recs that she has open, and it just gets drained because that
Those
number never
are
goes
those are
down.
evergreens, right?
It never goes down, or if it does, if she does get through it, they just load in more. So there's that stack of paperwork type of thing that you have to do never gets finished.
The other question that I just thought about, going back to the industry, because you mentioned healthcare, because we are seeing pockets of specific industries that we've built media plans for. Um, the other thing is they say, customer or potential leads or whoever I'm talking about will say, does an industry matter? And I will say to them, no. What matters is friction, right?
Hmm.
So we love less friction. So the more friction that you put between a banner ad and an apply or whatever, we're platform agnostic, it doesn't matter to us. The more work that you're putting that person through, the less conversion are possible. So
But
just like e-commerce, and I've done e-commerce too. So any friction is not good.
but you have to have some friction in there. Like otherwise you get
Well,
the
you
loaded
you
up
always have a
application.
system, right? But if you can grab the least amount of information, this is what I tell people. Grab first name, last name, email, and phone number, right? And then hyper personalized drip campaigns to those people. So treat them as a lead and then hyper personalize a campaign, right? So you have a lower cost per conversion, you have a higher quality, and then you get a better hire, in my opinion.
So what's the company name? Just because we never even
Yeah.
mentioned it.
Yeah, it's Talent XI. It's Talent XI. Don't hate me, Mike, but it's talentxi.ai.
No, you got to do .ai.
We used to be .io, Mike, but no.
No, and you know
Either
what?
either one you go to, it'll take you there.
I wanted to buy the rap.com. That already exists. I don't have the money for that, so I love the rap.com.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is I bought IO, like I bought that domain. So we've been in ideation since December of 23, but I own that domain like I want to say 22, 21 or 22. It's crazy.
That's awesome. Well, so if people want to find out more about the company, where do they go?
Yeah. So they can look me up, Jason Gorham, on LinkedIn. Shoot me a message. I'm happy to talk to anybody. Or you can go to talentxi.ai, and on the top right hand corner it says book a meeting or book something. And you will get my HubSpot calendar. So I love to talk to people. Yeah, I'm excited, Mike. A good friend of mine, just put a post on LinkedIn, and she said, "I wish the technology was better." And she was retrospectively looking at 10 years ago, and I chimed in and said, "For us, it is. It actually is. We're finally at that place." I said 85 to 90%, because like we have so much data that now the tech stack is really, really good.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your time, and I always love talking to you. I hope to see you in person at some point, maybe at HR Tech in the fall,
Yeah.
if you'll be there. But thanks again, Jason Gorham. He invented programmatic advertising for jobs. You
Job
can blame
advertising.
or
Job
yeah,
advertising.
okay, job advertising. You can blame him for all the job ads that you get. So thanks for joining me on Totally Talent.
Thanks, Mike. Great to see you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Totally Talent podcast by HR.com. We hope you find today's episode insightful and inspiring. Don't forget to explore more episodes and discover valuable resources at hr.com/podcasts, where you can listen to all of our podcasts. Until next time, keep leading with purpose and making a difference in the world of talent.